So, good morning, India. Hi, this is Ansel on Taza Talks with Spotify. And today we are welcoming our esteemed student. Uh, Actually, this is a Global Indian Kids podcast. तो ताज़ा टॉक्स के स्टेज पे ऑब्वियसली हर बच्चा बहुत ही एस्टीम गेस्ट ही होता है क्योंकि चुन चुन के लाते हैं हम हर सिटी से एंड इट्स लाइक आज हमारे बीच में है अक्षत शर्मा जिन्होंने क्लास 11th में टॉप किया है आईसीएसई बोर्ड स्कोरिंग 100/100. So he's a multi-talented and versatile student and very handsome hunk as well. So, good morning, Akshat. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am. I'm fine. How are you?
I am perfectly fine. So, Akshat, tell us something about yourself.
Ma'am, my name is Akshat Sharma. I'm 17 years old. I live in Lucknow. I had given in my school. I got 97.2% in all, and I secured 100 out of 100 in two subjects that include history and civics and physical education. And my hobbies include playing cricket, public speaking. I keep on participating in inter-school competitions of like debate competition and group discussions and etc.
Wonderful. So, Akshat, what do you think are the biggest challenges teenagers face today?
Ma'am, I think teenage is a transitional period. It's a very delicate phase when it comes to the students that are studying in the school. It is characterized by violent behavior, aggressive behavior. We sometimes get rebellion. The rebellious behavior that we face, sometimes it is very, very challenging. And we face a lot of challenges such as puberty comes in, and we are sometimes not able to adjust with the physical, emotional, and psychological changes that occur to us. So sometimes I've seen my friends that are good in sports. They are good in sports. They are great at public speaking, but they are academically not doing so well. So they suffer from low self-esteem. They say that they are not very talented because this is a stereotype that if you are not good academically, then you're not a great student, you're not a good student. Sometimes they go through this low self-esteem. They think they're not great students. They have very low self-esteem. I try to counsel them that it's not the issue, that you are great at sports, you're great at public speaking, maybe you are meant to be something else. If you're not academically good, it doesn't mean that you are not well. So sometimes they are not able to recognize themselves who they really are because of this stereotype that you have to be great in studies. And sometimes due to bad influences, sometimes with our friends we go to bars and we try to act like adults because we become a bit responsible. We have given parents give us some kind of freedom to go with our friends, so sometimes we develop harmful habits such as drug addiction and alcohol addiction and all. And that generally happens when you are around your friends, under the bad influence of your friends. That really happens sometimes. So you really need to focus, and you have to carry your ambition without thinking about it. And I think another issue and another big challenge that teens face is peer pressure and competition. We are friends with and but some atmosphere in the school, by parents, by teachers, by elders, it is created that look, that boy is doing great in studies, is great at physics, is great at chemistry, so why don't you get good marks in that? So though there's no competition between the students, this artificial competition is sometimes created by the parents, by the teachers, that you have to be good because of this ranking system in India: first, second, third, fourth. So because of that, every student is categorized that he's the first, he's the second. So sometimes that affects the bonds of the students adversely. So we are not able to foster great bonds because of the competition that we face in the school. So some of the biggest challenges include, as I said, low self-esteem, competition, bad habits such as drug addiction and alcohol addiction. That's what I think, ma'am.
Should not be categorized, right?
Yes, ma'am. We should. Everyone is talented in their own specific spheres. We should not be categorized that he's good at this, he's good at that.
Perfect, right. So, Akshat, how do social media technology affect the life of a teenager?
This is my own perspective. I think it adversely affects the life. It is good if you do it in a sufficient time, and then if you don't see it that often, but I think it's detrimental to the studies and to the health. I've had friends, ma'am, who are no longer my friends because of this technologies, this social media. We have 500, we have thousands of friends on social media, but there are many of those friends that we haven't even seen in person. So because of that, this fictional world, this virtual world is created. Now with the technological advancement, we have many apps like Byju's. We can study through that, but it what I think it kind of diminishes the quality of personal interaction. And there was a debate competition, and I'd gone and I represented my school, and that's what I feel, that a warm embrace, a laughter, a pat on the back is much more effective than the emojis that we send through WhatsApp and other social media apps. And I think this time it's also essential for the students to study through these apps, because we need to be aware, we should be mindful of the cyber crimes and all, but we should do it we should not we should not completely depend on this technology, because I have seen many people who are underconfident, as I said, low self esteem. This is attributed to the technology, and because of this we have become kind of robots, I think. So what I think is, let's move from this virtual and fictional world to this real world, and we can always be aware of the technology, but we should use it for our own good. We should not exploit it, and we should not manipulate it. So I think it helps in some ways, but I think it's detrimental in more ways.
जी बिल्कुल। तो जहाँ तक मैं देख पा रही हूँ अक्षत, आप बीइंग अ किड आप बहुत ज़िंदगी को बहुत करीब से समझ पा रहे हैं, और
Thank you,
टीनेजर्स के
ma'am.
माइंड थॉट्स को आप बहुत अच्छी से पढ़ पा रहे हैं। एंड आई गॉड ब्लेस यू, एंड आई विश कि आप बहुत आगे जाएं। सो
Thank you,
आगे
ma'am.
चलते हुए अक्षत, what advice would you give to someone feeling overwhelmed by all their responsibilities?
Responsibilities, ma'am, I think, as I said, it is a transitional period, and this is a very complicated phase of life, because we think we are adults, but we are not adults. We don't have that thinking of adults, but we kind of become very responsible, that we can go out, we can take care of ourselves, we can be with our friends alone, we can be cool. But there are a lot of challenges that we face. I've seen some students that do job after coming to school. So in order to do everything from tiring homework to schoolwork, studies, to perform in extracurricular activities. And sometimes they perform some jobs and all. I have had friends who give tuition classes as well to some students, because they are suffering from financial crisis. So there are a lot of responsibilities, and we do feel overwhelmed by these responsibilities, because we are at a very pretty young age to tackle with these responsibilities. But I've also faced many things in life, many challenges. I've also have many responsibilities. So one piece of advice that I would like to give the youth, the teens, the adolescents is that take every challenge positively and with an upbeat attitude. These are not challenges. These are, I think it's part of life. You'll feel happy, you'll feel burdened. Everybody has great times and everybody has not so great times. So you have to navigate the difficulties, the challenges, the responsibilities of life. And like I said, sometimes I also do feel that I have to perform well. I have to take care of my sister. I have to take care of my family, everything. And sometimes we do feel overburdened. We can't be positive every time. So what we can do is we can perform in extracurricular activities. And I think sports is it's a tremendous means of catharsis. We can play sports, all our anger, wrath, and all the frustration vents out when we play
Absolutely right.
sport.
Yes.
And talking is also a good means. We can talk to our parents, we confide in our friends, we confide in our parents, we can always share our difficulties, the tough times that we are having. We can always share that with our parents and with our friends, with our brothers. That is great. Always be positive, never think about the negative things. Always think you've got a great life, you are a great student, you've got great parents, you have got tremendous support in your teachers and friends. So be positive, take everything with an upbeat attitude. And whenever you feel overburdened by all these massive responsibilities, perform in extracurricular activities and always share it with your friends and family.
वंडरफुल। पर बेसिकली जो आपने कहा कि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़ के लिए बच्चे सारे तैयार रहते हैं, तो इट्स लाइक कि मैं भी लोगों से यही कहना चाहूँगी, उन बच्चों से यही कहना चाहूँगी कि बहुत बहुत जल्दी डिसीजन ले लेते हैं कि हम घर छोड़ देंगे, हम ये कर देंगे, बट इट्स वेरी
जी
इजी टू
मैम,
से, इट्स नॉट वेरी
easy to
इजी टू
say.
डू।
Yes, ma'am.
या
We feel that we have become adults, but we are too young to understand that. We
Exactly.
sometimes take harsh decisions, yes, ma'am, and we regret it later.
Correct. So, Akshat, how do you personally deal with failure of setbacks in life?
Yes, ma'am, I have had setbacks in life, and I said I'm a very optimistic person. But yes, we do face all the difficult times in life and all these troubles. So I face many challenges and setbacks in lives. The best way to deal with is to be with your friends, be with your parents, and I think it's more important. I think it's wanted to be successful, but it's more important to be able to face the failures of life. You can become tough, you can become strong and resilient when you face tough times. I've seen many people, I read articles that they were successful all their lives, and when they failed in an examination they tried to commit suicide because they didn't know how to face the failure, how to confront the failures of life. So that has been a major issue in India, that we have been told, we are keep people keep on telling us that you need to be successful, you need to be successful, and eventually sometimes we are successful, but we don't know how to deal with the failures of life. So that really makes you a strong person. We have to be really strong during that period. And I said that I have faced failures and setbacks in life, and but I have tried to be positive during that time. There have been times when I haven't felt great about my marks, and I basically some time there were some challenges that I was not able to overcome. I was not able to resist, and I was overwhelmed by them. But I talked to my parents, I talked to my friends, and it really made me aware that you will not always be successful. There would be failures in life, there would be difficult times in life, but as people say, hard times breed better men. So it's difficult, but it makes you stronger. Keep a stern face, stiffen up your upper lip, and always be strong, be resilient, be patient in those times. And as we say, with every setback comes a comeback. So be optimistic, share it with your friends, and time will change. So never lose hope, never give up, and keep on doing your best.
Sounds good. Wonderful. So, have you ever felt the pressure to get good grades?
Ma'am, I was never pressurized by my parents to get good grades. There are many students, my friends, who suffer from good marks. You got to study 5 hours a day to get good marks, otherwise you won't. So because of this pressure, it's not getting the better of you. You are not able to perform well because you are being pressurized. When you do it with your dedication, your passion and fervor, then you'd be successful. So there have been friends. I have never be faced that because I'm very blessed to have great teachers and great parents and great friends and all. But the students, my friends face that pretty often, and I always tell them that you don't need to study 5 hours a day to get good grades. You can do it for 2 hours, 2 hours 30 minutes, and do it with bottom of your heart, do it with full passion, and you'll get good marks. So those who feel overburdened by this, they should take step and they should tell their parents that, mom, if I'm not great at study, I'm great at sports, I'm great at public speaking, you can think about something else about me. If they're not interested, they should open up with their parents. This has been a major issue. I've seen that there's a lack of communication between the parents and between the students. They are not able to say what they have to say. So sometimes they feel overburdened, and sometimes they are not able to convey themselves, and they are pressurized into studying so much that it really affects them in bad ways, and it adversely affects them. I have never been I cannot tell this because from my personal experience, I've never faced that. Always my mother and everyone have been tremendously supportive, and I'm very blessed to do that. But for those who feel this pressure, they should open up to their parents. They should take good steps and tell their parents that I can do it when I feel like doing it. I can study 2 hours, I can get good marks. If I'm not good at academics, I can do it in sports. I'm great at public speaking, I can do something great in other spheres.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, Akshat, how do you deal with teachers or classmates who may not be supportive?
Ma'am, teachers, as I said, that I'm very blessed. Teachers have always been supportive, And I think that's very good, because if the teachers understand you well, if you have great repo and great communication with the teacher, it is very helpful for you, because they are able to understand who you really are, how they can get the best of you. So the teachers have been very good, they are very perceptive, and they know that pressurizing a student is not a great means. They not perform well if they are forced to do that. But I have had friends, as I said, we face competitions. These competitions are not created by our friends, but by the societal pressure, by the society. So sometimes my friends have tried to persuade me that you don't need to study that much, and you are spoiling yourself, you don't talk with me anymore, and you don't play that often. And there have been friends that are not, that have been, I mean, what can I say, they don't haven't supported me when I needed them. So I have tackled them positively. And the best thing is, you have to be determined. If you try to get good marks, if you are ambitious, then you have to ignore these things. Your teachers are supportive, your parents are immensely supportive. So sometimes you'll get people who will definitely discourage you, and they'll discourage you, don't study that much, and it won't help you in any way, come play with us, do this, go to a bar, go to that place. But I've been patient enough to ignore those things, to be determined to my goal of getting good marks. And it's attributed to the bringing that my parents have given me. So I try to tackle them, my friends, by just ignoring them and by talking to them. That, and I also try to counsel them and try to tell them that if these all are just, this is the starting, this is the very starting. If you are great now, then you could be better afterwards. So getting good marks and participating in school is a very great means. And I don't take anything to my heart when it comes to just friends that are not very supportive to me.
परफेक्ट. सो अक्षत, जैसा मैंने आपको इतना, मतलब इतना आपके बारे में जाना, आपके थॉट सुने, सो टीनेजर में आपके हिसाब से फ्रेंडशिप कितनी मीनिंगफुल हो सकती है?
Ma'am, friendship is very meaningful because we are in school, the teens, and you must have heard that teenage friends, the school friends last forever, and they are your true friends. So, why do we say that? I think it's because we share the same subjects, we go to the same school every day, we sit, we communicate more with each other, we play sports together, we have the same habits, the same interests. We talk about cricket, we talk about studies, about different topics that we do like to talk about. So because we go to all the gossip and all that, we foster such a great bond that it lasts forever. It makes it meaningful because when you grow up, then you're not able to talk to your friends that often. You meet them once a week, but in school times, they are in the school, you can invite them, you play together, they are in your parties, in every great moment of your life you confide in them. They are your, I think, one of the first confidants. You basically tell them the secrets that you don't even tell your parents. There are some things that we only share with our friends in school. The things that we first time share with anybody, it's most of the time that we share it with our friends, because our friends know they're of the same age. They know what it feels when you're suffering from something, because they already have suffered through that phase. Because we are in the same age group, we share the same interests and same hobbies and all. That's why it makes friendship really meaningful. And they would always be there with you when you grow up. You'll share all those found anecdotes, all those eminences, because that this time you would definitely cherish this time, and it's a really enjoyable time, and that's why it makes friendship really meaningful and really profound.
Wonderful thoughts you have. So, Akshat, like according to you, what is the most common misunderstanding between teenagers and parents?
Teenagers and parents, I think lack of communication has been a great problem, because we don't talk. Parents are generally involved in their office work. We go to our schools, we are overburdened by the homework that we have, then we play with our friends, then we sleep at night. So the communication that we need to have with our parents, that has been diminishing day by day and year by year, because everyone is pressurized, everyone is so busy, they have grueling timetable from
Right.
parents to the students. So the lack of communication has been a great issue, and we need to address it, because of that sometimes the parents are not able to understand the ambitions of the students, and that leads to big conflicts, and thus the distance starts coming between the parents and their children, because they are not able to understand their heart. They don't talk to each other that often. And with the technological advancement, we sit in the same room. Your parents are sitting, your mother, father, and you are sitting with your brother, but all of them are seeing the same phone and talking to each other on phone. Isn't that surprising, ma'am? So
Right.
because of that, the lack of communication has been a major issue, and that's why we are not able to convey ourselves. Sometimes too we fear talking to our parents about our dreams. If a parent thinks that he needs to become an IAS officer, he needs to become a doctor, but what if your passion is photography? If your passion is photography, but you are not able to convey that, because in the society it's not considered a very great profession, and because of that you feel shy. It would never happen if you share everything with your parents from day one. You don't share with your parents because of the lack of communication, lack of interaction with you have with your parents. And during the teenage, this is a very common thing, that we start neglecting our family. We start spending more times with our friends. That's common. That's natural. So because that's also one of the reasons that we foster great bonds with our friends, and that's when the distance starts coming. So during the teenage, I think it's the parents part. The parents should understand the psychological and emotional changes that the teens are
Mm-hmm.
going through, and they should talk about it. They need their children to open up with them. If they'll
Mm-hmm.
open up with them, they'll have great bonds. And lack of communication, I feel, is one of the biggest misunderstandings that is there between the parents and the children.
राइट. सो अक्षत, ये मेरा पर्सनल सवाल है आपसे एक. आप
Yes,
कितने
ma'am.
रिलीजियस हो?
Religious, ma'am. Uh, to be fair, I'm a bit religious. I believe in God. I believe in God, and I worship every night, and that's also because of my parents. My parents also believe in God. I think being spiritual is also a very great experience. Whenever you're suffering from a trauma, from a hard time, it really gives you the peace,
राइट.
and that serenity and that tranquility that you get from prayers, from being near the God, from in the temple. That ethereal feeling that you have, I think that's one of the biggest feelings of peace that you can ever get. So I'm a bit religious. Yes, ma'am. I am a bit religious. I believe in God.
So, Akshat, have you ever had to end a friendship, and how did you deal with the emotions that came with it?
Ma'am, as I said that these friends last forever, and if you have to end a relationship with them, and I've had friends that are no longer my friends, so I had to end my relationship with some of my friends, and it's really an ordeal. It's really a poignant experience, because in school you're together, you share everything together, and then because of some misunderstanding, because of some minor trivial issue, if you'll have to end that friendship, then that really is painful and agonizing for both of us, for both the friends. So that has happened, and that because of that I've learned something, that I think you need to be you sometimes we just say that we are right, we are always right, we don't listen to the others, and that's where the problem comes. We don't address the issue with our friends. And when I had to end the friendship, I realized one of the biggest lessons of my life, that you can apologize sometimes, even if it's not your mistakes.
Right.
If
Very
even if
true.
it's not your mistake, if it's your friend's mistake, you need to apologize sometimes. And we teens sometimes are massive. You know, why should we apologize every time?
Yes.
He made a mistake, I am hurt, why should I apologize? So because of not willing to apologize, they don't talk about the issue. They don't want to address the issue. And that happens sometimes when you are not honest in your relationship with your friends. Sometimes you lie, and because of that some misunderstandings occur in life. So
Mm-hmm.
now some of the lessons that I've learned from that agonizing experience, I've had friends that are no longer my friends, that you have to always prioritize open and honest communication with your friends. You have to be honest with them, because if you're honest, your bond will get stronger and stronger day by day. And always be a good and active listener. If you listen to your friend, then you will be able to realize what they feel, why are they hurt. So always be a great listener and apologize whenever it's needed, and develop the virtues of sympathy and empathy.
बहुत सही बात कही है आपने कि इसी चीज़ में फ्रेंडशिप टूट जाती है कई बार
Yes, ma'am,
कि
it
मैं
does
क्यों
happen.
अपोलोजाइज करूं. राइट.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Akshat, according to you, how can teens contribute to improving communication and relationships at home?
Teens are very advanced when you compare them with the parents. They are very, very advanced, highly advanced, because in school now we have computer subject. Teachers teach us about different apps and everything, and we need to tell this to our parents, because of the cyber crimes that are happening around the world, in India
Yeah.
especially. And parents are oblivious to the new technology, so it's our duty to teach them and to tell them about the cyber crime, how to use different apps. The parents should not be heedless of all the crimes and of all the apps that are there. The chat gpt, artificial intelligence, they should be aware of it, because nowadays it's very difficult for humans to understand whether that thing is authentic or it's AI generated. So we can definitely help our parents to improve communication through digital gadgets such as laptop, phone, with the advancement of apps. And we really, instead of doing unproductive things, seeing social media, Instagram, Facebook, we can teach our parents about different uses of technology and how can they inculcate that in their own work. How can they do that? That will improve their work, their efficiency in their office or in whatever profession they are. They can play a major role, and I have tried to do that. And whatever I learned, I try to teach my parents. And that's pretty ironic that I'm a children, I've learned everything from them, but I still try to teach them that these are the new apps, how can AI be efficient in some ways, how to elude all these cyber crimes, online crimes, and how to not be fooled and be aware of this. In these ways, I think we can really improve digital communication, and our parents would also be very, very well aware of the cyber crime and how to use the technology in the best way.
Good. Perfect. So, Akshat, how do you cope up with stress or anxiety caused by school or relationships?
When I was in class 10th, as I said, there was no pressure on me, there was no weight on my back. But you sometimes feel pressure because it's the societal pressure, the atmosphere, and all these things, that you have to get good marks. And if you are successful, then you are sensational. If you are a failure, then you are frivolous. But I don't believe in all these cliches, because my parents have been immensely supporting. And but you sometimes have to face challenges, as I said. And how I cope up with them, I try to talk with my parents, I try to share what I'm facing. And my mom is a great counselor, she's a psychologist, so she knows me well. She knows me really, really well, more than I do myself. So I share everything with her, and I try to share it with my friends as well. Class 10th basically is not an easy phase in your life, because of all the pressure, all the artificial pressure that has been created. Sometimes teachers also say you have to get good marks, be serious in your studies, and sometimes you neglect all the sports activity and all. So when I was in class 10th, whenever I used to feel stressed, I used to study a lot. Instead of seeing phone, I used to play sports as test busters. Instead of seeing phone, what's and all, because that won't help you. It would affect your eyes adversely. So instead of seeing phone, social media, I used to talk with my friends. I used to play sports, cricket, badminton. I used to start running. So if you are facing some major issue in your life, and if you are not able to tackle it, I've said this before, play sports is a great means. All your anguish, all your pain, and all your frustration went out when you run, when you play badminton, when you play cricket. And especially when you talk to your friends, when you hang out with your friends, it's very, very great to hang out with your friends when you are feeling distressed, and when you are, sometimes we are disillusioned with our lives, that we are not doing well academically or in sports and this that. So being with your friends, sharing your secrets with your friends and parents, and especially sports plays a major role. And I also participated in several activities. I love to dance as well, and I participated in inter-school debate competitions. That also helps, because your mind really needs to be occupied somewhere. an idle mind is a devil's workshop.
Yes.
If your mind is involved in some productive activity, then you won't ever feel it. You won't ever feel disenchanted. You would always be positive, and that's my mantra. Always be optimistic and upbeat.
Wow. So, Akshat, what are some healthy ways to build resilience and stay positive during tough times?
Ma'am, if
If
during
I ask you,
tough
what are
times,
your positive thoughts? And if I talk about कि आप क्या टिप्स देते हैं उन टीनेजर्स को, आप खुद क्या करते हैं पॉजिटिव रहने के लिए?
I think, ma'am, being positive is also a gift. If you're positive, then you won't feel stressed ever. And as I said, whenever I feel I play sports, I talk to my mothers. But for the teenagers, that if they are suffering from stress, from anxiety, so if they want to be resilient during these tough times, they need to open up. They need to open up with their parents, because I've seen many times that there are some secrets that are they are deep in their hearts. They've buried it in their hearts, but it somehow consciously and subconsciously affects your mind adversely. And you need to open up for the teens who are facing physical issues they don't share it. Because of the teenagers, a lot of, as I said, physical changes occur, but they feel too shy to share about it. So that also sometimes lead to stress, that whether I'm having a major disease or this or that. So you always have to open up, and you really need to understand that all these changes are natural. You don't have to worry about them. And as I said, open up with your friends, with your teachers. And for being resilient, what I do is I study, I speak a lot. I think speaking really helps. You have to keep on speaking with your parents. And I think staying alone is a major issue, why we go into that abyss of depression. Because when we are alone, we see phone alone, we watch TV alone, we are alone in a corner seeing the phone. So because of that loneliness, we really feel stressed. So I think whenever a tough times comes in your life, you you need not spend time alone. You have to be near people, near your relatives, near your friends, near your family. You should stop that phone and start using phone for some productive activities instead of playing PUBG, Free Fire, and other games. And that's how I remain positive. I don't play such games because I know how harmful they can be, and they can lead you to an abyss where it's very difficult to come out of it. And you need to talk to others, and you really need to communicate with your friends, play sports, and always participate. Like, I participate in debate competitions. It really helps when you speak on the mic in front of the people. That also helps you to build self-esteem, that you have spoken in front of these people and when you are praised. And I always say, whenever the children are not happy with their life, I always tell their parents and their friends that try to motivate that person, try to encourage that person to do something well. Sometimes I always criticizing the children is not a great idea. They are delicate. This is a delicate phase, and family really needs to be supportive. They have to provide them with spiritual support also. They have to provide them with emotional, psychological support. Friends can do their work, they share their secret, but parents should play a major role in that. So whenever they feel disenchanted with their life, and whenever they feel they try to be resilient during these times, they need to open up. They need to open up with their families. They really need to talk more. They can participate in extracurricular activities in school and all, and always try to keep your mind involved somewhere. As I said, your mind should not be idle. You keep on doing something. Try to learn. I am a learner. I try to learn something from every day. I try to learn every any new thing, from studies to sports. Try to learn new things. And the world is beautiful. It's filled with mysteries and enigmas. So keep on learning things, and that's my mantra to remain positive.
परफेक्टली फाइन. सो अक्षत, अभी चलते चलते एक मैसेज उन टीनेजर्स के लिए आप क्या देना चाहोगे? दोज हु आर स्ट्रगलिंग, दे आर फेसिंग चैलेंजेस. तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि अक्षत शर्मा हमारे पूरी इंडिया के बच्चों को अपनी तरफ से एक ऐसा मैसेज शेयर करें जिससे उनके डेफिनेटली वो आपका एपिसोड तो देखेंगी, बट फिर भी एक ऐसा मैसेज जो आपकी तरफ से उनको आप देना चाहते हैं जिससे वो हर चीज़ से ओवरकम कर सके.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity to give a message to all the students and through your channel. And it's really an honor for me. So I would like to say that a lot of teens think about the future, what they are going to become. They are going to do BBA, MBA, or this, that. They think, they contemplate the possibilities of future way too much. So what I think is, you can't change your past. You really don't know what the future holds. So always live in the present. Why we call it a present? Because it's the gift of God. It's the present of God. That's why we call it present. So always you have to live in present, live in the moment, enjoy the moment, and savor the moment. And whenever, as I say, all the these all are, you have to navigate the pitfalls of life, the problems, the issues. They will keep on coming. But if you're determined, you live in present, and if you're determined, if you're ambitious, if you focus, if you have got an eye of the tiger, then you, if you shoot for the moon, people say you land on the moon. But if you shoot on the moon, you land on the moon. People say you land on the stars. But with all dedication, with an eye of the tiger, when you shoot on the moon, you land on the moon. And with this message, thank you very much, ma'am, for this podcast, and this was really a wonderful experience for me.
थैंक यू सो मच अक्षत. सो अभी आप अगर सोशल मीडिया पे है तो अपने हैंडल्स यहाँ पे शेयर कर दीजिए, सो दैट पीपल कैन अप्रोच यू डायरेक्टली, बिकॉज आपके माइंड सेट्स, आपके थॉट्स को मैं खुद से चाहूँगी कि उन बच्चों तक पहुँचे, एंड दे शुड
Yes,
कनेक्ट यू.
okay, thank you very much, and I would definitely try to spread my message and through this medium. And I'm really thankful and grateful for this. I really appreciate it, ma'am.
वंडरफुल. सो थैंक यू सो मच अक्षत. एंड ये हैं हमारे बीच में आज अक्षत शर्मा, और आपने सुनी इनकी कहानी खुद से, इनकी ज़ुबानी और इनकी जर्नी सुनी आपने. सो व्यूअर्स, ज़रूर हमारा एपिसोड जैसे ही रिलीज़ होता है, और हमारा लिंक नीचे आ जाएगा अक्षत से कनेक्ट करने के लिए, वहाँ पे आपको लिंक दे दिया जाएगा. सो प्लीज़ लाइक कीजिएगा, शेयर कीजिएगा, कमेंट्स कीजिएगा. थैंक यू वेरी मच. Thank you very much, Akshat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.